Hey everybody, Dr. Ed Gigliotti here. Today I want to share a quick but powerful message. You might have heard the name Hippocrates before. He is known as the father of modern medicine. Okay? He lived around 400 BC, so thousands of years ago, and a lot of his theories and medical practices are laid the foundation for modern medicine today. Hence his name, the father of medicine. Now, one of the amazing quotes he had was, "Look well to the spine for the cause of disease." So what he was saying is there was a direct connection between spinal health and a person's overall health, and they realized that over 2,000 years ago. Okay, he was way ahead of his time. Now, remember, that was a time when they didn't truly understand how the body functioned like we do today. He just realized that there was some type of correlation between spinal injuries and people's health deteriorating and disintegrating. Okay? A lot of early art of Hippocrates shows him doing spinal manipulations on people's backs in that art form. It's really, really cool. We actually have one in our reception area. We have like a heavy, it's like cast iron or something, artwork that shows him doing a spinal manipulation on someone over 2,000 years ago. All right? Now, let's break this down. Why did he realize that in the past, over 2,000 years ago? And why is that still true today? It comes down to anatomy, okay? When you want to approach health from a very complete way, and you want to live life to the fullest, you have to look at how does the body function, okay? We have the different organ systems, the heart, the stomach, the digestive system, right? Like all these different organ systems. Now, what's the most important organ we have? If you want to look at anatomically, no one will disagree with this. Nobody in the medical profession will disagree with this. It's the central nervous system. Your brain and your spinal cord control every single organ within us. Everything. Every cell, tissue, organ is all controlled by the brain and central nervous system. So that includes eyesight, hearing, taste, all sensory perception, right? Blood flow through our veins. When we breathe, if the oxygen's absorbed and goes through our bloodstream, all of the detoxing from our liver and our kidneys, so on and so forth. Digestive system, all central nervous system regulated. So much so that the moment our brain stops communicating with the body, the moment we lose brain function is the moment we're no longer alive on this planet. It's instantaneously. It's not a day later. It's like the moment that brain stops communicating, we're not alive. Okay? So, breaking this down, right? Here's the 3D imaging we use in our office. You might be starting to get an idea of why we're so excited about this work in this office and why we pour our hearts into it. You have the brain that is housed in the skull here. This is someone's spine. Someone that's alive, spine, okay? That we got 3D imaging on. The lowest part of the brain comes down to here. This is the brain stem. So it goes down to a stalk. You've got the whole brain in the skull. It's so important that we were designed with it fully protected by bone, so you can't injure it, or it's very hard to injure it, right? And then you have it's funneling through to a stalk, to the second vertebra here, and then it goes down to the spinal cord, and it breaks off into these branches we call nerve roots, and they travel all throughout our body. You have trillions of signals going from brain to body, not to mention blood flow, cerebral spinal fluid flow. It's a very complex and dynamic system. Now imagine if at any point there was a spinal injury, a slip, a fall, a car accident. List goes on and on. Even birth injuries. A lot of times people think, well, it's my child. They're just learning to walk. Not to mention all the slips and falls hitting your head walking and everything that children do with that. But research that I've reviewed shows that many births, they're applying over 30 pounds of force on the baby's head and neck to try and help the mother and help the child get out. But in the same respect, there can be residual effects from that. Imagine if you had 30 pounds of force on your neck as an adult, someone pulling, let alone a child that's 6 to 8 pounds total weight, and how underdeveloped their muscles are and their ligaments and their tendons. So what we know to be true is that if there is significant force that's put through the neck and these vertebrae have slid out of position, the same bony structures that are designed to protect that delicate but very intricate central nervous system now become counterproductive. They create injury to that system. If the body can't correct those spinal misalignments right away, it'll just try and hold them in those malpositions so it doesn't get worse. It'll fire all the muscles, create inflammation, everything. Okay? Now look at this. This is the back of someone's head and neck. If we put this down here, this here is where their whole life is traveling through. So whenever there is multiple or even one injury to the spine and they're significant and they're stuck in that way, do you think the body's going to function better or worse? If there's less blood flow going to and from the brain, if there's less neurological signals going to and from the body, do you think it's going to be better or worse? I would imagine that you're thinking worse is because that's the actual answer. And that's what Hippocrates noticed without MRIs, CBCTs, X-rays, PET scans, all of this technology that we're blessed to have now. He realized that back then. And his theories and his medical thought literally laid the foundation of modern medicine today. That's how ahead of his time he was. We have to share this message. There's so many people that don't know that there's another way to live life better that they may be neglecting without even thinking about it. Okay? We are only as healthy as our central nervous system is operating. If we have a spinal injury, significant, mild, like slight, whatever, if that brain to body communication is shut down, our potential should be here, and right away it gets notched down to whatever has happened to the spine. You got it? So there's other things that are important to live life healthier, but we can't neglect the brain and the spinal cord. That's why us doctors at this office and our team here are so passionate about this work, and that's all we do. That's why we don't do anything else. Foot massages are amazing, but all we do is upper cervical chiropractic care because the brainstem comes through here, and if this is injured, it's robbing someone from living life the way they should, even if they notice it or not. You got it? So if you know someone that's struggling with headaches, migraines, vertigo, okay, please share this message with them because they might be looking at it from a chemical perspective, like, oh, I'm going to take this medication and try and address it, but it could be a physical injury to this very narrow or this narrow but very important canal system that houses that brainstem and that spinal cord. And here's one more thing. You don't need symptoms to live life healthier. The best chiropractic miracle is the one that doesn't have to happen. If you know somebody that could benefit from upper cervical chiropractic care, and that's anybody with a brain and a spinal cord, let them know. Because if they're feeling good today and they have spinal cord pressure, they could be going a path they don't want to go. But if you could start addressing their central nervous system now and get them living at a better level, and that includes everything else they're doing, from eating healthy, exercising, they could change the whole trajectory of their future. That's why we get our kids checked. That's why my little ones have been adjusted since birth, right? Because if we can address the most important organ system in the body, change the course of their futures. Please share this message with people. If you're getting checked, be proud of yourself. You know, this is why we do what we do, because the consistency is how you change your future. Okay? And if you know somebody that needs to hear this message, send it to them. We'll help find them a doc. There's docs all over. All right? We're going to be doing this for as long as God lets us, because this work is so important when you understand how the body functions, and you can't neglect it and live life to the fullest if there's an injury. You can't. It controls everything. Love and appreciate you guys. Thank you for your time today, and I hope you guys have an awesome week.